Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
We got a soup terrorist. Rainer's blowing a canister, and we're the most wanted in the country. But don't you worry. Daddy's home.
That's right, podcast fans. Daddy's home. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss the latest episode of The Boys, it's Stephan.
Yo, dude. How's it going?
Yo, dude. What the fuck? We just go back to 90s DJs then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yo, this is Smashy and Nicey. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Shabba. Yeah. Oh, what the fuck? Yo, dude. Mate,
Stephan and Sam, 108.5.
Is it just me, or are you struggling on the ins and outs at the moment? I'm doing this on the show, by the way.
Yeah, I know you are. My wife says I am, so yeah, maybe.
Oh, I get it.
no, I just thought that was a good joke. I like to, every podcast, I like to start a bit differently, depending on what mood I'm on.
Yeah.
You know, today is sleep deprived, so therefore slightly hyper. So, yo, dude.
Yo, dude. Wow, I feel very surfs up, brother. Okay.
Yeah, man. The little one didn't sleep very well last night, so therefore sleep deprived is the way forward today.
You back to the sex talk referring to your penis. The little one didn't sleep well. Nice.
No, not what I meant. No.
Oh, okay.
I had so many answers for that and realised that none of them put me in good light. So...
We are watching The Boys, and so anyone who's watching that episode or that series and then listening to us, we're not completely out of line by starting the podcast with innuendo. But we do have a very packed episode to discuss, so perhaps we should discuss that, not your sex life. What do you reckon?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, this episode had a lot. I mean, we have watched 4 seasons of The Boys.
Yep.
And yet somehow still they have the ability to make me go, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, how after all this, like, we have seen things like, you know, Herogasm is still the top rated episode they've released. And if you can watch Herogasm and things happen in that, you think to yourself, yeah, we've probably hit kind of, you know, the level.
I still
and then this season, hold my beer.
Yeah, I still like we have seen things from that statement you just said. I mean, I remember an interview with Carl Urban, aka Butcher, who said he arrived on the set of Herogasm and there's this cameraman sat to one side with like 1,000-yard stare. He's like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "I've seen some shit today, man."
They're making them do things that I did not expect.
Yeah. There is a lot in this episode, from stuff that's just like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that, that's so funny, to, oh my God, please stop doing that, that's giving me nightmares.
Yeah, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that.
To also some really big story points being moved forward and becoming clearer. And also, just some really randomness. So I want to start with a little bit of randomness.
Yes.
And then we're going to dive into some of the bigger storylines. So, the Made in Manhattan spreading of the ashes for Huey's dad was kind of a beautifully random moment. I don't know why, but we don't see a lot of Huey's dad. Like Simon Pegg, so basically, for anyone who doesn't know this, Huey in the comics was drawn and modelled on Simon Pegg. But Simon Pegg was too old to play the character when the TV show was made. So took a role as Huey's dad. Now,
I thought it was pretty.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a nice cameo role for him. He's a great actor. Got to show his American accent again, bless him. And he basically popped up a few times throughout all the seasons, which is great, and he's, you know, always referenced and stuff at different times. There's one of my favourites is him FaceTiming Huey when Huey's with Starlight and kind of like, you know, no, Dad, move away from the phone. No, step back. Just those little things made Huey's dad ridiculously endearing to all of us. So what happened to him, and Huey having to kill him was just like, oh my god, that's so horrific. And Huey's holding himself together really well in this scene. But there's just something about, we didn't know massive amount about this man, but him loving the film Made in Manhattan to the point he wanted his ashes spread around the Made in Manhattan tour is hilarious.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
It's just like, you don't, if that's the only thing we ever learnt about this man, it was enough to know he was a very endearing soul. Just kind of like, bless him. Safe to say, Huey's mum's definitely real. Everyone's interacting with her.
Everyone's talking to her.
My theory on that one was wrong. We'll come back to the one that I was right about later on. But yeah, that was quite. That seemed, it was sad because obviously the nature of it. I thought Huey's holding himself together a lot better than I thought he would.
Yep.
Obviously later we see that he does break down a bit, but he is kind of like doing that. His mum's there. There is just one scene in that which cracked me up. I mean, there's obviously the asshole shouting "baby killer," and Huey steps up, which I love. Huey's got this real agitated side to him nowadays, which he never would have had.
Yeah, he is not the same as Series 1 Huey, that's for sure.
No, that kind of, oh no, we'll just move on to get the fuck out of my face. And then part of that, it comes when he just says to his mum, like, so casually, like, oh, what's wrong with her? Oh, she's upset because one of our friends is handed himself into the police for committing multiple murders for a Russian mobster. And she's like, who are your friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can imagine him just turning around and going, oh, that's not the worst part.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
he's one of the good ones.
Yeah. Now, see, the thing is this. I'm pleased to see that Starlight, Kimiko, they're there. Because none of them have been there. And I've kept picking up on that. And I kind of didn't overly like that. You know, I know everyone's been crazy busy and stuff. Mad's going on. Like, everything's always going on. But it just didn't feel right.
Yeah, I'm glad they're kind of supporting him in this moment.
Yeah, I think if that had just been him and his mum again, that would have become like a real, oh, come on now. I find that hard to believe. And if the character doesn't go mental about it when he sees them all next time, then I'm really going to find it hard to believe. So I'm pleased they were there. One obviously noticeable absentee is Butcher, which really disappoints me.
He's still AWOL.
Yeah, it disappoints me because Butcher, for all of the gruff, angry, homicidal tendencies that the man has, he has kind of got a bond to Huey, which, you know, Rebecca, when she was alive and not in his head, literally was sort of like, you have to keep him. Like, you need to keep around him. He is good for you. And so Butcher kind of had that, didn't he? It was like in his head, like, oh, Rebecca's right, you know, she's the one who's, you know, she was the one who always knew what was best for me. So yeah, okay, right, I'm gonna make sure I stick with Huey. So seeing him now not with him at all, kind of lends itself, for me anyway, towards the theory I have, and I've discussed with you, but I want to finish the show with.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of like the first factor in this episode where I was like, okay, again, you know, he's not right. Okay, you know, tick. Another piece of randomness from this episode, just picking it out, is Deep and Noir having a scene together. Noir, the actor, taking off his mask, fed up completely, sat in Homelander's chair, by the way, which was ballsy.
The guy's just so pissed off. It's like you've been cast for a starring role to then find out that you're the baddie or something.
And you're not allowed to talk. Yeah.
You're not allowed to talk, and it's like, but no, name me a black ninja. Like, little lines. He's like, this makes no sense. And like, that's his biggest gripe. He's like, this just doesn't make sense. None of my character makes that. I'm playing a character for you all, but I have no context. It makes no sense.
Yeah, like, he's also he is a soup. He can fly, and he points that out, and Deep's just like, yeah, I know, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
we know you can fly, whatever. Yeah.
So he's clearly not enjoying the role of Black Noir. He even talks about leaving. He's gonna go and take a part somewhere else. And Deep kind of talks him down, but deep conversations with the deep is just that guy.
And it cracks me up because the guy's like, we've been left here on babysitting duty. Like, no one cares. We are the unimportant ones. And the deep's like, I'm important.
Yeah, I'm doing
I'm
shit.
important.
Yeah.
I'm important. I think Deep's got quite an interesting character because everyone else clearly just mocks him and jokes with him. Yeah. And he is like, so just like, I just want to be important. I just want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Please let me be part of it. And he refuses to accept the fact that he's just not.
No, I know. Do you think he, as a character to play, that'd be funny? I mean, because like as an actor, I imagine a lot of the deep stuff is kind of amusing to do. The fish fucking probably not. That's probably,
No, saving a dolphin and killing it. That must have been.
That was so funny.
The lobster. That's still one of the best episodes.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, one of my personal favorite, the deep moment, is him riding the whale in front of the boat to stop Butcher. Yeah. And then parking the whale there, and then striking this pose like, "Check me out! I am a sea god." And then realizing Butcher's sped up, not slowed down, and he just shits himself. And Butcher parks the boat inside the whale, launching deep. It just that scene just cracks me up.
That's going to be one of the best ones, but he just wants to be important. He's not.
He does, yeah.
And I wonder where his character's going to go.
Oh, I really don't know, man. I think he goes with the wind blows. Like, for example, he's completely Team Homelander because Homelander could kill him with a thought. But let's say Homelander is something. Let's say Soldier Boy took out Homelander. He'd be Team Soldier Boy. Do you know what I mean? I think
he just follows. He's one of those follow the leader.
Yeah. The deep will literally just do as he's told. Even when Ashley kind of used to talk shit to him all the time, and he just took it until Sage pointed out, like, "No, you don't have to," and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
but that's only because Sage told him. He didn't work out himself.
Bless him.
Didn't arrive there. He needed someone literally to hold his hand and be like, "Do this."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The other kind of standout thing in this, which isn't just like a random scene, but actually, I mean, I wrote down in my notes, is actually a little bit heartbreaking. We don't see Frenchie in this episode at all. He's in jail. But we do see Kimiko trying to visit him on a couple of occasions. And the one time she's there, she's been there for a long time, and she points out to the woman, "Look, these people arrived after me," and she looked up on the system and says, "Sorry, he doesn't want to see you." And then she comes back.
It's like,
And she comes back, and the woman's like, "Look, I don't know why you're here. He doesn't want to see anyone." And she puts, "I've got nowhere else to go," and just sits there with tears rolling down her face. And I was, Kimiko, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. That was an unexpected, emotional kind of scene. That was.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you a question. I'm sure I saw things before about Frenchie's character, or the actor is in other things at the moment.
Okay.
I'm sure I saw like the actor. So I think we spoke about it before about what they were going to do with his character, and I was very surprised the fact that this is the first episode where he's not been in it at all. Like they mention him and stuff, and I'm like, I'm hoping there's not something kind of. I don't want him to leave. I think Frenchie's too good a character, so I'm hoping that, this is just like one episode, he's in jail, and then they're going to bust him out.
Gotta be honest with you, man. I wasn't aware that there was any talk of that at all. I mean, I just assumed this was all storyline, and I didn't realise there were issues.
I'm sure I read that he was filming something. He's in something else as well. I'm sure I read it. I'm gonna look it up a little bit.
All right. Well, you've talked yourself into that. You start Googling that, and I'm gonna sort of move ourselves over to. I'm gonna go to the Homelander part of this to start with. Homelander has a grand plan, and we've been kind of him and Sage. We know have been working on something and everything, and they have this party at Tech Knight's house, and then they're kind of taking some of the high roller billionaires, trillionaires, and a couple of high ups to one side because they want to talk to them.
Yep.
The boys learn about this and obviously sending Huey to plant some bugs and stuff, and that's a whole story arc, which we're going to talk to on in its own merit in a minute. But Homelander, basically, yeah, his plan's a coup. His plan is, okay, Robert Singer is president, we're going to get rid of him. And we're going to get rid of him, and Victoria Newman's going to take the office, and, you know, everything's going to be good because, you know, Robert Singer's a woke whatever piece of crap. He's against superheroes, and it's against America. And Homelander does this kind of speech like, look at me, I'm the big boss. And the people there kind of really lay into him. With respect, you know, what happens with the military? What happens with it? And he doesn't have the answers at all, because he isn't smart enough. He doesn't know any of this. He hasn't thought any of this through. Sage has come up with this plan, clearly. He is just thinking, I'm going to be the voice to this because, you know, I want to be seen as the big, bad, you know, the smart guy. And once they start asking him questions, and you can see he's starting to, like, I'm now thinking, oh my God, he's going to kill one of them. Like, he is literally, like, you could see he's getting annoyed, more and more annoyed. So I want to put you, and I wrote this down as a question to actually ask you. Newman steps up. Newman steps up and kind of delivers and nails the end of what Homelander was trying to say.
Yes, very, very politician-y. Very kind of like, you know, rousing the crowd speech, yeah.
Do you think she did that because she is 100% on board with this plan because of everything Sage said? Or do you think she did that because she could see that Homelander was about to snap and probably would have started killing people?
Watching the scene and knowing the character, I don't think she's ever going to be fully Team Homelander.
I just don't know. I'm so on the fence with her. I have no idea.
Yeah. Was it let's just diffuse the situation by kind of finishing the sentence and kind of calming down?
If you think about what she was saying, that's not diffusing a situation. She was literally standing up.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe. Yeah. Oh, I think her and Homelander on the same team is a kind of terrifying prospect.
It is. I mean, it's...
What with her power of just popping heads, which did lead to a real funny scene in this.
Yeah. The guy mansplaining abortion to... I mean, do you know, one of the things I said a few weeks ago, right, and I'm going to cop for this, and to be honest with you, on this particular subject, fucking bring it. I said to you, what is making this worse is they are actually using real conspiracy theories and real things that are being said. Yeah. And they're putting it into the boys, and people are watching it going, oh my God, that's so ridiculous. And I'm going, yeah, that's actually real. Yeah. What that guy said about a rape victim because of God and everything and the way a human body would reject that baby naturally is actually a view held by many people who class themselves as pro-life.
Yep.
Like, I'm not talking like a small amount, I'm talking about a lot. That is actually a doctrine that is taught to people, and it is said and like preached to people that that's what would happen. Oh no, you know, a baby, I think the phrasing they use is a baby is created out of love, so something of hate, you know, it just wouldn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that's real. So when she's hearing that be said to her, what that guy is literally quoting verbatim was actually from a real pastor in the US, and something he really said to like 1 million people.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah.
You
can understand
your
why
particular. I'm gonna step in here. Your particular phrasing then for exasperation probably wasn't the best.
No, that's a fair point.
Yeah, so just to be clear, here in the UK, that really is just an exasperated term. Not he wasn't actually just having a pop.
Oh yeah, oops. Yeah, just gone back in my head what I just said. Yeah, okay, maybe not best phrasing.
No,
but you can understand why she makes her head pop.
Yeah,
like in her little vision.
Yeah. I mean that did make me laugh. That was kind of like from face palming to brilliant. I mean, there was a moment of like, what the? Oh, wait a minute, this is in her head, and that it's okay, right? Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah, for a split second, I thought she'd got fed up and made his head pop.
Yeah,
and then realised it was her own head and was like, oh my God. Oh, no, wait, okay. That's just her thinking, I wish I could.
Yeah, I'm so fed up with this, I'm going to do this. See, the thing is with Newman, and I can't make my mind up on this, I've never really hated her, which I know sounds mad, like, because she straight up murders people. She's clearly, I never hated Stan Edgar either. I kind of like him, which...
Stan was a weird one because he had that calm menace, but he also stood up to Homelander and kind of put him in his place.
His calmness
kind of made you go respect.
I remember when the Homelander was like confronting him and his heartbeat was just like perfect, and the Homelander was like completely, "The fuck, you're not scared of me." It was just so good. There's something about Stan Edgar I really like. I really like the actor, which probably contributes. But with Newman,
he's fantastic.
There were a lot of scenes with Human and Huey before Huey knew who she was, what she was, that were actually ridiculously endearing, and I kind of felt like those two kind of had better chemistry in a lot of ways than Huey and Starlight does. Just me thinking.
Yeah, when they were working together and stuff, they were like genuinely really getting on well,
sharing sandwiches and all that kind of silliness, and also at the start of this series, like she could have killed Huey. I know we've got this whole but if you do it, we'll release all this stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
She still could have. She still could very easily in the van and just gone, for boop.
Yeah. And I don't think she would. I could be horrifically wrong, but like even at the farm when she's looking for Samir and stuff like that in last week's episode, she could have gone crazy in that moment and just started ripping, doing all sorts.
Yeah.
Starlight decked her at one point, what? So there's a lot there. There's something about her character where her and Stan Edgar, I'm not convinced they're fully evil. I'm not convinced they're good either. I think they're very self-serving. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be horrifically wrong on this, but...
She goes on a murder rampage, full Homelander style.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, okay. I mean, and she has done. Remember, like that courtroom scene where literally all the heads were popping. Like, so she's not good, but nor's Butcher, and I like him.
This is very true.
Frenchie. Frenchie's currently in jail for murder on a big scale, and I like that guy.
Murder.
So yeah, I mean, Huey literally ripped the guy's throat with a dagger the other week. So yeah, there's a lot in this show which is very, very challenging to my moral compass, and she's proving to be one of them. One of the things we learn in this big speech, though, and then the team learn via the bugs, is that the reason why they're involved with Tech Knight at all is because Tech Knight's family historically own and manage prisons, and they wanted access to them right the way across America. They are planning internment camps, which is terrifying. Like, this has gone like a coup and internment camps, like, takes this to a whole other level again. When you add that to Homelander's Wrath of the Gods speech that he gave, they are ramping this up.
Yeah, this is heading towards, and like, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, we've only had 2 episodes left of this season. Like, this is going quickly towards an absolute shit show. And I'm wondering, I think, in my head, I don't think they're building up to a finale this season. I think this season is building up so that the last season they do is just going to be all out like carnage.
Okay, so...
I don't think we're going to get like a massive end of season moment, as in like, finale of season. I think we're going to get an end of season moment that makes us go, oh my God, next season needs to be out like tomorrow.
Well, here's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
When they created the spin-off Gen V, what they wanted to do was have that in between the seasons of the boys. So we had Gen V, and then we got this season, and it references it. It's not a direct kind of like, you have to watch every episode of this to be able to watch this. But it has certainly helped, and it was a good show anyway. So I'd recommend it. Like,
that's actually one of the things I do like. We watch Gen V, so we get the little links.
Yeah.
If you hadn't have watched Gen V, you wouldn't be any further behind in this show.
No,
They mention the university. They mention they were cooking a virus up at the university, and we get to meet these two new characters from the university.
Yeah.
But it was no different to meeting Truth Bomb.
No, they backsell it well. They backsell it well.
It's really well done.
Did you say really well done?
Yep, I was hoping you were going to skip over that.
No, not at all. No. You fuck up, I need to point it out, because that way it covers up all mine. The interesting thing with that is, and the reason why I just raised that is because when this show was done filming, so the finale of this season, their plan still would have very much been for the next thing anyone sees Gen V.
Yes,
they are having to.
Track is excellent. Yeah,
they are having to rewrite Gen V, and currently it's not started filming. So what does that mean now? So the ending of this could have been set in. We don't know. Basically, it's going to be interesting now. One of the things The Boys has done every season is it has kind of wrapped a story with a larger ongoing story.
Yep.
I have a theory which we're going to discuss at the end, which is very different to your thinking on the ending of this series.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So we'll circle back to that. But yeah, the kind of Homelander and his coup plan, etc., is horrific. Now, I'm just going to do this one thing in isolation, and I'm going to read you my note exactly as I wrote it, just to see if it makes you laugh.
Oh, God.
Homelander meets up with Firecracker. Oh, now he's sucking on her firecrackers. So that was literally that was literally my note.
Oh, mate, that whole scene. Oh, mate, the levels of just cringe and uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
In that scene, unbelievable. You're not pregnant. Oh.
No, but I took all these drug cocktails, which just made my heart a little bit inflamed. But totally worth it to be able to lactate and breastfeed you grown man superhero, who then cuddles into her and just I don't know where to go with that.
It's like this isn't about sex; it's about loyalty, and I'm like, I'm confused. What is she get? Oh my God, no!
Yeah, the minute she went there, I was thinking, please don't go there. like she starts taking her top. I'm like, no. I think I know where this is going. I think, oh no, it went there. Please God, no! This is one of those things I didn't want.
Yeah, no.
However, no. Homelander's happy. He's nursing again. Good boy, Homelander. That's a good boy.
Oh mate, it's so fucked up.
Yeah. So right. So we've had that. Let's just throw that away again now, right? Yeah. We're now going to move on to what I think is probably the funny, messed up part of this, and I'm going to start with saying to you the word Webcrawler.
Oh.
Now, in this show, in The Boys, we know every time you see a soup, there is a DC or a Marvel equivalent they've based it on. And in this episode, Tech Knight is clearly Batman. And I hadn't put that together before until this episode, by the way. Because he was like a detective, a crime fighter, but not really a vigilante. Oh, okay, he has the big mansion. His parents are dead. He was raised by his butler. He literally has the Bat Cave.
The tech cave.
And you hear bats, literally bats, when the door opens into the cave. And he literally has the classic 1960s. If that door had opened and it hadn't been an elevator, it had been two poles. And that had literally been verbatim, the 1960s Batman stuff.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I was watching it, and that moment when you kind of click, you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, so Tech Knight, Batman, and Webcrawler is clearly, absolutely, 100% Iron Man. No. Webcrawler is Spider-Man, who, unless you're going to correct me, is probably your favourite. I mean, I know you love Iron Man MCU, but I think Spider-Man possibly is your favourite.
Yeah, he was kind of Spider-Man and Iron Man were always my two absolute favourites.
Yeah.
And oh god.
So Spider-Man
next season when they bring in like a billionaire playboy psychopath in the next season, that'll be me done completely. Never able to watch the MCU again.
So Webcrawler is the person that Butcher went to give a a heroin enema to get information, and knowing that Webcrawler is this person, comes up with a plan when he learns that Tech Knight is throwing a party and they need to get in there. He sees in the invitation list that Webcrawler's been invited. Webcrawler, of course, can't go. He's a junkie, but maybe using his suit, someone else could go. So goes to visit Webcrawler, who lives in an apartment full-on junkie style, webs everywhere. And he asks to inject him up the ass. And does it. But first of all, he shoves it up the web hole. How are you feeling at this point, buddy? How are you doing?
Mate, the web hole, I mean, the whole thing is making me very kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So let's give a little bit of context to it. You text me, I said I'm about to watch it. And you said, oh, I've just finished. Okay, I've watched it. And I'm like, that's it? That's all you're giving? I was like, I don't know how to feel about that, mate. Like, you've not given me anything. Normally, you're like, great episode, or that's messed up. This is just, I've watched it. And I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, okay. I'm like, dude, what does that mean? And you're like, you like Spider-Man, don't you? I was like, yeah. You're like, web slinger, enjoy it. And I'm like,
Webcrawler.
And I'm like, okay, so this isn't, I think my message to you was like, this isn't even subtly taking the mickey out of characters now. Webcrawler, okay. Right, okay. And then you're just like, safe word. And I'm like, why the fuck would Spider-Man need a safe word? and then started watching this episode. Yeah. And the more I saw of this character, like the fact that his web hole is right above his ass made me laugh a little bit.
Well, there is, of course, a very funny line in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness where America Chavez says about Spider-Man, you have a Spider-Man? Is he part Spider? Does he shoot webs out of his butt? And they're like, I hope not. Well, yeah,
this one pretty much does.
Yeah, Webcrawler has his, web hole.
Put it in the web hole, screams about it, and then does it properly, to which he then farts out of his web hole and hits in the face.
Yeah, he webs all over MM's face.
The fact that has got such OCD and a clean freak, this whole scene, I'm like...
Huey walking in with Purell,
there's not enough.
I mean, I love MM, and this episode, I think, pushed him to his limits and beyond, as we see. So he gets the costume for Webcrawler. He knocks Webcrawler out for hours and hours. And Huey is now going to become the part of Webcrawler, putting on the suit, and is going to attend the party at Tech Knight's house.
The suit that has a interesting aroma.
It has, kind of... Yeah, OD asshole and, all sorts. Now, Huey does this, and Starlight, for the first time in a little while, was a bit like, are you sure? Like, I'm a bit concerned. He's like, yeah, I need to be working. It's okay. I got this. And to be fair to him, he is a part of the team, and he does contribute on a regular basis.
He does try it, yeah. He tries to be there.
So I've now got bullet points, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read each bullet point, and I just want you to discuss.
Okay.
All right?
I don't know if I want to.
No, this is good.
There's so much of this, I don't want to talk about everything.
But I am going to do it in a bullet point fashion and in a way that I think we're going to get through this, all right?
Okay.
Huey arrives at the party, sees the 7 are there. What are your thoughts at this point?
Oh God, he's in trouble.
Yep. Fair point.
I'm like, enough of them. Like they make the hint about, well, at least if you, if it smells like that, it will cover up your scent and stuff like that. And then like Homelander's there, and I'm like, oh, Homelander's going to tell. Homelander is going to fucking tell.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then like the more characters you see, I'm like, Sister Sage is there, and you're like, oh, she's going to know.
Yep.
And then he bumps into Victoria Newman.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh god, she's definitely going to know.
When he started rambly, mumbly talking, I really thought she was going to be like, Huey.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But no, he gets past that one, so that's
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, perfect. The next bullet point. Tech Knight takes Huey to a sex dungeon. Discuss.
Oh, the tech cave.
Oh, we're going to call it a cave, like a lair. Okay, all right.
I think that's what he called it. He called it the tech cave.
Mate, I don't care what he called it. It was a sex dungeon.
Yeah, it was messed up. My text message that I sent you was, Huey, get out now.
Yeah.
Huey, run. Huey, run.
Yes.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable to watch that bit. Yeah.
Uncomfortable to watch. Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna move on to the next one, which is Huey's time in the dungeon with Ashley. Discuss.
Oh, Ashley Barrett. She's an interesting character, isn't she?
It would appear that her and Tech Knight are kindred spirits.
It would appear very messed up. The whole scene of Huey being kind of like chained down.
Yeah.
To this apparatus.
Yeah.
And then I was fucking creasing up at the fact of him just shouting spider influenced words.
Well, so basically
trying to find his safe word.
Tech Knight says to him, if there's ever we go too far, just shout your safe word. And so Huey's shouting stuff out because he doesn't know the safe word.
Tarantula!
Yeah.
Arachnid!
And Tech Knight is now looking at him a bit sus. Tech Knight is kind of.
I just like to shout spidery things when I'm excited.
Now, just as she finishes, Ashley, and I use she finishes in a literal term.
Sense.
She seems to have something in her hand that she wipes over the masked face of Huey there. What do you think that was?
Oh, we know exactly what that was.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough.
We know exactly what that was.
No,
she was happy enough. No, she was very happy.
She had a good time. Tech Knight then turns us on Huey, as we know, and says, "Tell me the safe word." He can't, so he unmasks him, realizes it's Huey, and then says the line which he's going to haunt me for a while, which is something about there's only so many holes and you get bored, so sometimes you got to create a new one whilst holding a massive knife, and then fuck it.
Yep.
That was...
Yeah, so again, we were saying about the whole Gen V thing. Obviously, we met this lovely character in that, and his obsession with anything that has a hole, he's pounding.
Yep.
So when he makes the line, you get bored of those, so you have to make a new one, and fuck it, you're kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Mate.
Oh, Huey.
Yeah.
Like, I'm there and I'm like, that they need to break in, like, now. They need to save him, like, now.
Yeah.
Because if they had have arrived, like, Huey, at this point, this is possibly the most scared we've ever seen. Huey has just experienced some stuff.
He has.
Including actually biting his feet, all sorts of stuff he has just witnessed.
Yeah, and this guy's about to cut holes in him and then have sex with the holes whilst Huey dies.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah.
And Huey at this point is, probably the most scared.
Now, luckily,
I've ever seen him.
The team are there. Kimiko, and Starlight. And they are in the building trying to get to Huey. Starlight runs into Firecracker and completely lures her in with an apology, then to drug her to knock her out. which I was like,
that's good.
damn, Starlight, you're getting a bit butchery. Just letting you
Yeah,
know.
she hates him. She hates him so much, but there is so many things that she does that you're like,
yeah. Hang on a minute. Where's this good girl line that you so say have? Kimiko and MM, they find the library, the books and everything, and Sister Sage is in there. MM holds the gun to her. Now, this was an interesting scene because he shoots her in the head. And I thought, wow, Sage is done. And then I remembered what she does, like the lobotomy thing, and her brain regenerates. And I'm thinking, is that actually going to kill her? And then we learn no, it doesn't. She gets up and moves away, and it's just an absolute dum-dum whilst her brain is healing.
Oh, my God. That is the scene of her being just completely like, oh, yeah, whatever. I once put 12 nachos in my mouth.
Is she a dum-dum and gradually getting smarter again? Or is that bullet lodged in her brain and she is like that now? Like, someone's going to extract
I was
going
to ask you. That's what I wanted to ask you, because when she does the old lobotomy thing herself, it goes in, it scrambles a bit, it comes out, it re-heals.
Yeah.
It can't, unless it's going to re-heal around the bullet.
Yeah. Which would be bad.
It's going to re-heal and push the bullet out itself? Like,
I don't know. I have no idea. So
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, no idea. So it's going to be interesting next week to see if she's back to her normal self, or if they need to extract a bullet to work it out, or what. I'm interested.
Because no one else really understands Deep's the only one that would understand what's going on.
Yeah, and Deep is not there because he's a moron.
Yeah.
Now, MM collapses. MM, all of his anxiety, everything, he just gets on top of him, he collapses. And Kimiko gets A-Tray's attention at the party and basically asks him to help. Now, A-Train in this episode is now terrified. They killed the guy they blamed for the leak. Like, that should have been me. I'm going to die. And in this moment where Kimiko asks, he's like, no, you guys got to stop fucking with me like this. I'm literally going to be murdered for helping you. But she manages to think of his daughter. And so,
mate, trying to find the right books.
That was class.
Some of them easy to kill. Yeah. You want to step up, bitch?
Yeah, I know.
No, not me. Not him, not me.
It's like, I was trying to say that it is easy to kill. It's harder to save people, but okay, let me find something else. So now, I am now 99.99% convinced we're not going to have A-Train next season. I am now 99.99% A-Tray's dying. And the reason why...
the more he helps, The
reason why is this one scene where he runs MM out, puts him on the stretcher, and the child sees him do it and is inspired by him, and A-Train loves that. A-Train finally feels like he's doing good. He's actually helping people. And the recognition he's getting there, saving someone, is real. It's not fake. It's not vault set up. It's not a movie where
that's a real save.
That's
sort of
a
thing,
real save, and a child has just been inspired by seeing him, and he runs off. And I'm now like, oh, they're gonna kill him. I don't want him to. I like the character of A-Train because he is the original piece of shit. He is the one that explodes Huey's girlfriend, and then you learn because he's hooked. He's a junkie. And he's all of this stuff, and then he goes in recovery, and you learn about his brother and his family, and you follow him all the way through this, the same as we do the boys, and his character arc is exceptional. So I'm 99.9% convinced I know where this is going, and I'm kind of gutted because I'd like at the end of this, for me, like if you had a group of real superheroes who are really trying to help people, I'd love him to be part of that.
Yeah, now this new version of him, definitely, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Like season 1 or 2, A-Train, not a chance.
No,
but now they've really humanised him and kind of they've brought in that side of him where he just doesn't want to do the fake crap anymore. He wants to do real good.
Yeah.
And you can see, like you say, you can see them actually going, okay, the 7 is gone. We now actually have these real good guys. Their leader, A-Train.
Yeah. So,
and you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
So, that's where I'd love it to go. I don't think it's going to
However, I feel the same as you. I feel like he's going to get homelanded.
So, Starlight and Kimiko do make it in just in time to save Huey. Tech Knight's then chained up, and Tech Knight's Gimp escapes and finds a way of, like, you know, how do you torture a masochist? Like, everything they did to him, he's like, yeah, do it more. So they find a way, and that's to give his money away, which makes him spill the beans on the Homelanders' grand plan, which we discussed about the prison camps, etc.
Oh, mate, that was such a funny kind of thing of how do you hurt him? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
£4 million to these people.
Well, him snapping over 100 million to Black Lives Matter, I think, just about. Because in this episode as well, he talks about how his family got his money from being slave catchers whilst talking to Sage and A-Train. And A-Train's just like, oh, I bet my great-granddaddy would have caught you, or you'd have given him a challenge. And he's like, oh, we'll never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that was a bit... Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, what a scene. But yeah, in this, again, so they save Huey, and Tech Knight then gets attacked by his butler. His butler is killing him. His black butler, who raised him, is killing him, and says, like, I've put up with this man, I've washed dildos, I've done this, I've done that, but I didn't know about internment camps. Like that was his line.
That was the final straw, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'm gonna kill him and make it look like an accident, and does kill him, by the way. He is dead. They do confirm that. But he also reveals to Huey what the safe word was.
Zendaya. Yeah.
You know, we talked about there's subtle, and then there's not subtle.
Yeah. The Spider-Man wannabe, safe word, Zendaya.
I'm sorry. What do you mean by Spider-Man wannabe? I don't know what you mean. He's Webcrawler. Spider-Man doesn't exist in this universe, man. I don't know
this is true. About. This is very true. Yeah, no, there's no Spider-Man. It's Webcrawler and the safe word. I just thought that was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Absolutely
hilarious. This is why I messaged you safe word. Because I knew the minute you were, the safe word was Zendaya, you were going to lose it.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. There's no subtlety.
No. No, it just, Zendaya. I mean, real tears. That was brilliant. That
was great.
The
real tears were like, oh my God, that scene's over. Thank God.
Huey has been through a lot in this, and there's actually there's a moment. He's basically like, Starlight's like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, like I've seen some shit. I've been through some shit. But then he absolutely breaks, and I think this is a real tribute to him as an actor. Because you're kind of laughing in this, like, oh my God, poor Huey. And then you're like, oh my God, poor Huey. Actually, like, he isn't okay. Like, he did have to kill his dad, like, a week ago. Yeah, I don't know about you, man, but
Ash wiping juices over his face. Yeah, he has had a hell of a...
Yeah, okay. All right. I was doing those bullet points so we could just hit it and move.
Yeah. Yeah, fair boy.
All right, well... I just ate my breakfast again, which is ironically what he had. Okay, so the final thing I want to talk about is Butcher and Samir. Me and you discussed this for a couple of weeks, which is Butcher's been seeing Becca, and we know he's got this V supercharged tumor in his brain, and he's got all this stuff. And then one of the other things that's been happening is he's been meeting up with a CIA guy who you saw called Kessler, a.k.a. Negan from The Walking Dead. And Kessler, on a few occasions, kind of appeared to talk to him. And me and you picked up on the fact, well, hang on a minute, we've not seen anyone else around when Kessler's there. We've not seen any interactions. We know he's seeing Becca, who's basically the voice of an angel on one shoulder. And everything Kessler's saying is the opposite. Like, Kessler is literally the devil on the other shoulder. Kessler's not real.
Yeah, there was that scene. We called it last week. I said, like, I was 100% last week.
Yeah, I was 99.99 because I felt burned by Huey's mum being real.
Yeah, it was the scene last week when he says we, and the guy looks at the doorway like, who the fuck's the we? And then the way they did it in this episode was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Showing Butcher pouring the whiskey onto the table.
Yeah, that was good.
The conversations with himself.
That was what we said, wasn't it? We said, like, you could go back to those scenes and he's actually by himself. Like, we could, that's interesting. But the way they did it with him stood there, Kessler, and Becca to one side going, no, Butcher, you're better than this, and him turning and going, shut the fuck up.
It's like, wait, you can see her?
Yeah, that was incredible. And then you see it from Samir's perspective, where he's literally stood there by himself, like talking to two people.
Just arguing to the air. It was like, oh, shit. Yeah.
I love
so
that.
good.
It was so good. And
He's
then,
just sat on the bed. He's got one leg laying on a bed, chained up, looking at this guy, and he can hear 1/3 of an argument.
Yeah.
You've got to be like, oh, I'm so dead.
Yeah. He must just think, oh, I'm dead. There's no way I'm getting out of this.
This guy is a lunatic. I'm out.
Now, what is interesting in this is we do get a few really interesting points. Samir reveals to him, is like, I can't do this. And he's like, no, you can't. No, you don't understand. To make it this is one of the things we found out. To make it powerful enough to kill Homelander, it mutates. It becomes airborne. It becomes a pathogen, a pandemic. It will literally seek out and kill everybody with V, compound V. That's my partner, my child. I can't do this. And Butcher's like taken back by this, but then you hear Kessler. This is it. This is the golden bullet. This is the thing. We wipe all them motherfuckers out. We take them all out. We do it. If you've known Butcher from season 1, which we have, that has kind of always been his goal. I mean, Homelander's been the target, but he doesn't think soup should be a thing. He has made it abundantly
He's very
clear.
much team fuck soups. Yes.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, always been down with that, because the soups we know are mostly assholes. But then we just discussed A-Train and the different direction and the good he is currently doing. And Starlight, Kimiko. These are people that Butcher, those two, well, Kimiko probably, are people he'd consider a friend, someone he'd rely on. Annie and him don't exactly get on, probably because they're too alike.
Even Starlight, especially now. Yeah.
Now,
God, he's suddenly like the devil, and you were saying about the angel and the devil on his shoulder. You've got Becca going, you can't do that. What about the family? You can't do that. And you've got Kessler going, fucking ka-ching.
Yeah. And of course, the other key thing, what would it do to Ryan? Is Ryan, because he's naturally born, but he must still have V in his bloodstream to have the power, so he's just got it via natural means, not being like dosed with it. So that'd kill him as well. Now, Butcher now is in this state where he's got these two voices, and one of them clearly is louder. And he gives a monologue in this, which, by the way, is so incredible, because he's like, I am you. I am literally you. The real Kessler's dead in the jungle somewhere because you didn't go back for him, you selfish son of a bitch. He's like, no, I'd remember. You don't remember because of this massive V'd up tumor in your brain. And he says, I killed Ezekiel for you. So I'm thinking genuinely this tumor or whatever it is like a symbiote. You know, we could almost point to this, you know, Webcrawler in this. This is almost like Venom. This is kind of like an entity living within Butcher that's got its own mind, and he's saying to him, I am you, so I am literally telling you this is what you want.
Yeah, that was the line when he says about, you know, I killed Ezekiel for, and I suddenly went, for a couple of seconds, I was like, who the fuck was, oh my God, in the trailer, yes.
Yeah.
And if he did that for him, that's when you start to really look at, like you say, about this whole, the inside symbiote thing, because you're like, how did you kill him for, like, what the fuck? I mean, let's be honest, we're all still looking at that trailer scene going, what the hell happened?
I mean, I'm still not sure what happened, but also it's contradictory, because if that is an entity that is self-aware, etc., like the Venom suit is, like Venom is, why would he want this virus? Because it'd kill him. Does he know, because Butcher's dying anyway, he's only got so long anyway, and he just wants to go out killing everyone? or is Butcher's influence on this? So, like, I don't know. Like, I'm intrigued. But you think about the wording of it. I am you, but then he says, I killed Ezekiel for you. So that was like, I acted independently of you. I am different. I am not you. I am my own thing. But he also says, I am you in the same. So which is
same
it?
kind of bit. Yeah.
So which is it? So that to me, like, Becca, like the angel on one shoulder, Kessler's the devil on the other. Now, this is where my theory comes in, and this is, so I'm just gonna say this, and then I've told you ahead of time because I wanted to sort of run it past you, really, and then you can give your views and what you think. I am increasingly of the belief that actually this series, which is ending with season 5, the next season, the big final boss, the big final villain, the big final task isn't Homelander. I think it's going to be Butcher. I think Butcher's going to fully embrace Kessler's idea. I think he's going to do something to force Samir or someone to do this. I think Huey and the group, I'm just literally talking through my ideas, by the way. I've not read the comic books. I don't know where they went or what happened. So if I'm hitting any of this and you go, oh, this is a spoiler, this is pure theory, okay? This is pure theory.
Yeah.
I think Huey and the group are going to rescue Samir. I think they're going to try and find Butcher, find him and rescue Samir, which then makes Victoria Newman team the boys. I think she is going to go fully good because they rescue Samir, but clearly is going to want Butcher dead for what he did to Samir. And the boys are going to be, we don't know what to do about Butcher. He's our friend, but he's lost it. I think someone or a group of someones, perhaps a certain soldier boy being unleashed by the CIA finally, and a group, I think Homelander is going to get taken down at the end of this season. But I think next season, possibly at the start of next season, but I think next season is going to be Butcher with Homelander dead, completely, what do I do now? I'm still alive. Homelander's dead. What do I do? I'm going to take out all the soups. Fuck them all. And he's going to try. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a group of the good soups that are left. And, you know, Huey and the boys and everyone trying to stop Butcher from killing everyone. That's my theory. I think Butcher's going to be the final bad guy, which kind of breaks my heart a little bit because he's one of those characters who's an asshole, but I like him. And so I always want him to... He makes some bad choices, but he always tends to come back at the end. And I kind of always wanted, by the time season 5 was rolling around and we were at the end, he would make the right choice. I kind of had it in my mind he was going to sacrifice himself for Huey. I kind of had that as like he's going to go out with like some hero's death. But no, I like now I'm convinced because Huey's gone through all this with his dad. Butcher wasn't even there. He don't care.
Yep.
Whether that's this tumor thing or whether that's just he's become one-track minded again, I don't know. But he wasn't there. And that, to me, his grounding rod, his kind of conscience, walking conscience, is Huey. And he's this far removed from him again. I think he's going to do something terrible. He already is. He chopped the guy's leg off. He already is doing terrible shit.
Can you imagine? Like, neither of us have read the comics. Let's just throw that one out there. No. We are basing everything purely
on the show and theory.
On what we've seen on the show and theory. Now, can you imagine if you're right and we get a scene in series 5 where Butcher kills the boys, minus Huey, and Huey has to kill Butcher.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, could you imagine, like, that would turn the show upside down, wouldn't it?
The show is ending, and the show, from what I'm told, is going to have a definitive ending, but spin-offs in this world of soups, etc., will exist. The fact they've said it's going to have a definitive ending kind of speaks to, okay, our leads are going or gone.
Yeah, see, like my theory was this season is purely building up to next season.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
And that Homelander and Butcher are both going to die at the end of season 5.
Fighting each other, yeah.
I kind of had this nice thought in my head that, you know, Butcher's going to actually sacrifice himself to save Ryan from something.
Yeah.
And I had this real nice kind of like built up to a full circle. He saves Ryan, and then Ryan becomes good because of Butcher's sacrifice.
Yeah.
But the more you've kind of spoke about it, the more I can just imagine Butcher killing all of the boys and Huey having to be the hero to save him.
Yeah, there's something about the way they're going with Butcher's character where for 3 seasons he's an asshole and he's a lovable asshole. In this, he's dying, and really I should just be feeling sorry for him all the time, but I'm not. I'm angry at him. I'm annoyed at him, and this show's very good at writing. This show is very good at taking us...
Doing it for a reason.
Yeah, taking us on a journey. So when I feel something, they're meaning me to feel it. And
if he does get killed, I want it to be a good... I don't want just to, like, he gets stabbed and died. I want him to have a proper good death, if that makes sense. Yeah. If he's going to die, let him go out, like, in a proper, like, oh my... Not just like, you know, Huey stabs him or something like that. That'd be like, ugh. He's got to have a proper death.
I think it will be. I'm just... Like I said, I'm just kind of intrigued at the moment of what they're going to do with it, because the other factor is as well is Kessler, as a symbiote thing and everything, might not be the devil on his shoulder and Becca might not be the angel on his shoulder. That could actually be the symbiote taking over his personality. Becca could be representing him. That's him. Yeah. His moral compass, his voice, his focus. And the Kessler character is actually the symbiote, is the V'd up tumor. I killed him for you. That is independent. That is separate.
Yeah.
And the Becca voice is gradually fading. And so when we actually get this Butcher as the big villain at the end, it's not even Butcher anymore. It's actually Venom style character. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. That's my theories and thoughts. Mate, before we finish this up, I need to do something because we didn't do it. We have just discussed The Boys Season 4, Episode 6, and the title of the episode we just discussed was...
Dirty Business.
Whew, good job I did that. That'd have been me in
trouble. Can you imagine the emails you would have had? People get pissed if we don't do that.
Yeah, I'm probably still
we still need t-shirts. We need t-shirts.
I'm probably still going to get it because they're not going to listen to the end yet. They're going to hear the beginning, notice I've not done it, send me abuse, and I'm going to be like, go to the end. I varied it this week. And then I'm just going to get abuse for varying it. So
it's not how it goes.
And they're right. I need to be better. But to be honest with you, I think most of the hate this week's going to come your way. So that's good.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. No, it was your use of Jesus Christ in the
that was bad. Yeah, that was bad.
I could edit it, but fuck it. You deserve some hate mail.
You could edit it, but it's the Boys podcast. We don't edit anything.
Yeah, no, I try not to, actually. I try and leave it as politically incorrect as possible, but if I do want to point out that when people send us in death threats, we do actually pass that on to the police. And yeah, we do get them, hilariously.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. Okay, so that is all my notes for this week's episode. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
Oh, no, I don't. I want to kind of lock this episode in the back of my mind and not think about parts of it again.
That's fair. Okay, that's good. Until next week, then, that is a wrap for The Boys, Season 4, Episode 6, like I said. There are 2 episodes left in the season, so next week, Episode 7 is the penultimate for the 4th season. Penultimate episodes of this show, as always, had a little bit of a twist, which is something I've never picked up on, but I saw it online, and now I'm like, oh my god, you're right, they do. So, I'm looking forward to that. I believe anyone who's listening to us a lot right now, because they're watching several shows that we do, will also be aware that we're talking about the Star Wars series The Acolyte. That also reaches its penultimate episode next week. And we're also discussing The House of the Dragon, which is apparently next week's episode is the episode. Must watch, cannot miss. Titled Dance of the Dragons, which suggests either we're going to have a lot of carnage with dragon fights or a really odd episode where someone's teaching a dragon how to tango. Yeah, so either way, I'm looking forward to it. Coming soon to our podcast will be a one-off show discussing the smash hit, and I'm saying it's a smash hit because it will be, Deadpool and Wolverine movie. That's coming out at the end of July, and within a week of it hitting cinemas, you will have a show right here on our podcast discussing it.
Mate, I am so excited for that. I am as excited as Tech Nights in a Donut.
Did you know?
That is exciting.
Did you know that on pre-sale alone, it is already the biggest grossing movie to be released this year, which is 400 million in pre-sale tickets. This is US box office only, by the way. That's near $400 million of pre-sale tickets, which means it would give it the biggest opening of any film this year by some way. And it's already projected to be the biggest film. I mean, it is the film this summer without a shadow of a doubt. So it's one of those films where, knowing what Ryan Reynolds is like, anything can happen. Very much so. Now, we will be discussing that. Also, coming to this podcast is The Umbrella Academy, the final season on Netflix. All episodes drop in August, and we will be breaking that down probably into a couple of parts, like Part A, Part B, to go through that series. That would be sort of in a couple of weeks of that show coming out. So Part A within the first week, and then Part B in the second week. Give everyone time to watch them.
Have we been able to get Kaylee into watching that one?
No, God, no. And
we haven't spoken to her for a long time.
No, we haven't, and we've had a few messages that she's missed, but I'm getting fed
up.
Not
by us.
I'm getting fed up with my family demanding she takes over. It's annoying, you know. And next is Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. The season 2 of that show finally comes to us on Amazon Prime again at the end of August.
It's been a long time.
So if you're interested in all those shows and you enjoy listening to us talk about TV shows and movies, we are not going away anytime soon. The current run of 3 shows a week will probably drop down to 2, but we're going to be in your voice. We're going to be hearing our voices for foreseeable.
You lucky people.
Exactly. And on that note, it's time for us to say goodbye. Now, Stephan currently is really struggling with his ins and outs of podcasts. So what I like to do is make a big deal out of it. And I'm gonna go to him first, because last time we exited the show, he basically just copied what I said, and it was weird, actually. It felt weird.
So far in this outro, you've already said with raps, that takes out
I did.
It's a rap.
You picked up on it.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. I'm not going to steal Alfie's thing. That's Alfie's thing. Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, so I'm going to hand over to Stephan now to say goodbye to everybody. Then I'll have the final word, and then we'll go, all right? You ready?
No, you've made a thing of it now. It's weird. It's not. You know.
I'm actually going to load a drum roll sound effect for the next show. Stephan,
okay, brilliant.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Speak soon, everyone.
Wow, that's the best you could come up with? Unbelievable. You will take care.
I killed Ezekiel for you. I am inside of you. I am you. Which is why when I tell you you want to do this, I am literally telling you that you fucking want to do this. So don't you worry, Billy, my boy. Daddy's home.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.